Welcome to Ruhan Manika. This is a yandere visual novel where you fall in love with the geekiest guy in school. And of course he's madly in love with you. The both of you go through a lot of hardships, no thanks to the bullies in school. And now that it's prom night, it's up to you to decide whether you all deserve your happy ending or to let it all burn in tragedy. Anyway, here are your content warnings. Now please enjoy yourselves. School. Almost every established adult in their bright, blooming 40s, necessarily with a stable job and whole, healthy psyche, will probably tell you that you're going to miss your school once you finish it. Because it's your youth, your childhood, your teenage years, and the prime of your life when you find your first love, make lifelong friends, and have the best experiences. Of course, this adult will never tell you that when he was 15 years old, he and his friendly band of bullies kicked his geeky classmate to death in some dirty dark alley. The happy businesswoman, sipping her vanilla wrath in a cozy coffee shop and sending another work email, is sure to tell you how she met her future husband in 11th grade, right out of a parallel class. She'll keep quiet about the fact that a strong and faithful marriage hides years of cheating and hookups with ex-classmates, alcohol poisoning, and tons of drugs at high school parties. Because she drove her classmate to a nervous breakdown through years of bullying, and then found her swinging in the bathroom at one of those parties. You'll never hear anything from someone's weird silent uncle who only occasionally shows up at family gatherings. Because he's still going through therapy because he was being bullied all through high school and seeing even his own family is too hard for him. And that's you. What am I? Understanding and realizing yourself has become a little difficult. However, you are still you. Also, I do recognize that the person that we are playing as is probably dissociating and can't make out like any of their own features, which is likely what this image is trying to symbolize. My name is Lion. It's you, and you're beautiful. But they won't tell you that. They never do that for anyone. Maybe you're different. Maybe you're too much like the others. Maybe you're too good or too bad. Maybe you know too much, or maybe you know less. They don't care. You could be the most perfect person on the planet. You're already perfect. However, anyone can have the same problem as you. A school called blank. It's the most ordinary one, really. Ordinary subjects to study ordinary people. A real hell for you. Unfortunately, you've had to stay in the same place all your years of school. These walls have seen it all. Your childhood, your puberty, your tears and your occasional laughter, your blood and gore, the pus and drool on the floor after your bullies have had their fun. Somehow, no one cares. Not in a mean way. Kindly, sweetly, and sympathetically. We're sorry we've handed out punishment for them and talked to their parents. Everything's going to be okay. Don't worry. And then the school nurse would send you back to class with some badly adhesive band-aid that's been in your locker since prehistoric times. Because everyone goes through it. But he cares. Ruhan, your classmate and your best friend since 2nd grade. The boy who always got the most bullying. Because, did you need a reason? Really, is there a reason for bullying? Because he's weird, because he smells bad, because he doesn't brush his teeth, maybe because all his clothes are old except for one new sweater, and he likes naughty movies? Which of these things could be a reason to beat him to a bloody snot all over his face? He didn't deserve it. No one deserved it. Yet, through the years, it wasn't uncommon for you to sit in your favorite, safe to be exact, place under the stairs and treat each other's abrasions. At least that's something. At least a modicum of comfort. You needed it. He needed it. You have each other. He was always there for you. Was and is the real sunshine. You had each other at every stage of growing up. Puberty was funny and weird as hell, yet You're still here, having gone through the hardest part. Ruhan. He's a wonderful boy. You wake up in his bed today. A common occurrence. You've been close long enough that you could take a bath together. That's what sometimes happens if things got really bad. You were never beaten too badly. What difference does it make, though? Never had to visit the hospital yet. An external inconvenience, isn't it? Couple of abrasions here and there, rude words and leaked correspondence as an innocent prank. Ruhan lies next to you, disheveled and smelling strongly of something old and dusty. He rarely cared about his hygiene. It was a habit that had persisted since childhood. Few would have any desire for washing and cleaning when all moral and physical energy went into keeping his mental health alive. So he kept it through the years. Lifting slightly from the bed, making it creak slightly, you examine the guy lying next to you. He's been sleeping restlessly. Several times during the night, you had to wake up with him and help him sleep again. The last few days have been pretty nerve-wracking for you. No, the bullying hasn't increased in volume, but graduation day was approaching. You know that feeling? It's finally going to be over, and not even by death. However, the inside devouring and vowly chugging sensation of something terrible approaching that could be the apogee of the seemingly joyous event, graduation. You don't have to worry about that. Of course, you won't stop thinking about it. Anxiety will always be there, smiling sweetly at you when another passerby lingers his gaze on you. Ruhan Manika squirmed a little in his sleep and pulled the blanket over himself, wrinkling his nose and exhaling noisily like a disgruntled kitten. The house was cool enough. Heating wasn't a particularly frequent guest within these walls. It was spring, but spring in these parts tried hard to be the coldest time of the year. When it's negative 15 degrees Celsius outside the window in the morning, you don't really want to get out of an at least somewhat warm bed. However, you and Monica, as you sometimes call Ruhan by his last name, have been given no choice. Even after you passed your exams, you both had to attend classes, 90% of which consists of summarizing the previous lesson. Well, or of repeating material or even starting something new, which is what some of you can expect at university. Who cares if you want to or not? No one ever cares about you, right? Ruhan is once again stirring in his sleep, and soon he wakes up. With a disgruntled look, he grabs you with his calloused hand and pulls you back to him into the warm embrace of the blanket and sheets. His hands were smaller than yours, with rough, weathered skin, with nibbled and crooked nails and small wounds here and there. But they're the dearest hands of your life, and you'd hold them in yours for as long as you could physically hold them. Lion, I'm cold, he mutters to himself and opens his eyes, looking at you with a unfocused stare from under his slightly covered eyelids. Sparse lashes covered his dark irises, but didn't hide the disgruntled and cranky gaze. Why are you up so early? We don't have to go to school. We do if you don't want your parents fighting all morning. Yeah. What's worse, being spit on at school or getting a little scolding at home? The first option, but I've been staying at your house too much already. Your parents are starting to get a little disgruntled. Let's humor them a little by going out. The guy pouts his lips unhappily and lifts himself off of the bed, sitting down next to you. Hanging his legs off the bed, he's thinking about something of his own, wiggling his legs back and forth a little. What are you thinking about? Morning thoughts. Nothing. He turns to you and smiles broadly, baring slightly crooked fangs. Do you want to go out? Every time we go out, they laugh at us. You smile wryly, but then you exhale and nod. But I don't mind. Who cares? It'll all be over soon anyway. The guy smiles wider and hugs you tightly, squeezing you in his weak grip. Poor Ruhan. He was never strong. The two of you were weak, terribly weak, unable to defend yourselves. Weak was Ruhan. So weak, Ruhan started carrying a strong stationary knife. The habit of carrying strange things to school started a long time ago. But they were never used because Ruhan was afraid of the consequences. Ruhan was afraid of being taken away, and Lion would have been left all alone. You go to the school building. It wasn't that bad, was it? A couple of mocking or disinterested looks is what greeted you every day. It wasn't bad, and it was easily ignored. Ruhan Manika, your best friend, held your hand tightly, sometimes scratching your palm awkwardly with his bitten nails. Poor Monica sometimes squeezed and scratched his own hand so hard he left ruby red marks on it. Even painted red. You liked Ruhan Manika. Let me buy you a bun. Ruhan smiles and pulls you towards the sideboard. He always had some pocket money, which was only occasionally taken away by bullies. It wasn't often, so it's not a big deal. For your 18th birthday, he gave you 3 buns and a bunch of flowers. For his 18th birthday, you got him a new sweater and a promise that you'd always be together. Soon, I'll be 80% bun-filled instead of water. Do you think they'll come up with something new after we graduate? Usually the best things happen when we've already left the place. I hope they make scones with fruit jam. Love them. But they only have the knack for meat and rice buns, as if anyone would even eat them. Ruhan holds out old crumpled bills to the saleswoman and takes 2 buns, putting them in his bag. Should we go to the roof? It's warmer today. I want to catch the first non-cold breeze first. Ruhan was a good boy. Amin, on the other hand, was a bad boy. For as long as he could remember him, he never let anyone rest. Angry for life and prickly as a rose thorn, he was your main problem. Half an hour later, Amin wipes his bloody hand on Ruhan's hair and roughly pushes him away, causing the frail lad to fall backwards, right towards you. Amin clenches his fist tightly, his eyes watering slightly as his best friend takes him aside, forcing an unnatural, comforting smile on his bitten lips. These boys have problems in their families. Parents beating Amin and Sothi. Amin beating you. It's a vicious cycle. But surely, Amin deserves to blow off some steam. He deserves to vent his anger, and you both don't deserve a particle of sympathy. After all, if someone is worse off than you, they deserve more rights than you. Amin and Sothi have the right to beat you to a pulp because at home, their parents beat them to a pulp. They have a sad story and a hard life, and you have it easier, so you will never, ever have the same rights as the sufferers. Ruhan flirts with tears, trying to wipe your tears instead of his own, but it didn't hurt much. But it was unpleasant. A couple blows and insults and they're gone, but shame and resentment aren't hard to wipe away. Just don't cry, okay? Ruhan stutters himself and wipes your snot and tears with some crumpled paper handkerchief. Here we go. These buns are for you. Not having any. Eat later, okay? Please. You eat and I'll buy you some more juice. Poor boy. I hate them all. I'll get revenge on them, okay? You nod slowly and take his hand, which helps you stand up. Limping slightly, not so much from pain as from shock, you make it to your favorite spot and sink to the floor. Here, under the ladder, where it is always warm. Ruhan sits down across from you, and sniffling his nose, climbs closer to you, almost lying on top of you, like an affectionate blanket trying to hide you from all the trouble and cruelty. He hugs you tightly, in a kind and protective way. It's going to be okay. I'll work it all out, okay? Somehow. And if not, it'll all be over soon anyway. Graduation's coming up. Just a couple more days. Ruhan Manika, your best friend, squeezes you in his arms and sinks down on top of you, covering you from everything. Your hips gently hold his slack form, resting against his sides. Yeah, it's going to be okay. You're coming to prom with me, right? He lifts his head and looks at you desperately, but then blurs into a soft, faint smile. Yeah. Where are your glasses? You ask without even thinking, completely offhand. The glasses are in his hands. All right. Your gazes cross. It's something ordinary, but this time, your eyes carry some very warm promise. Unsure and scared, but already resigned to any outcome, Ruhan Manika kisses you with his dry, chapped lips, which now feel like the softest in the world. Gentle and neat. You kiss him back, perhaps a little inept and confused, but you try your best to respond. Monica almost howls at the sadness accumulated inside and closes his eyes tightly, letting the tears roll down his cheeks. Monica was your only friend. Anyone who tried to get close to you was dismissed with disgust or consternation the very next day. Very interesting, right? Of course, you knew why that was happening. You've known that boy longer than anyone else. Monica knew you just as long, and he wanted to know you the longest and farthest, scaring off anyone who wanted to get close to you. Foolish, but kindred. Did you care about the missed opportunities to make a new friend? No. Strong Monica with a knife was a good argument for you not having anyone but him. Ruhan was enough, actually. Seeing him in every petal, in every window and doorway, in every one of your dreams. What is it? Love? Most likely. Yes. A love born out of shared distress, pain and screams, bonded by the blood of two. It will be stronger than any other bond. Breathing heavily, scorching your forehead with his hot breath, Monica sniffs his nose and kisses you again. He doesn't know how to do it at all. Such a clumsy boy. But he tries his best. You gently hold his back, guiding his movements like a skillful mentor. Though honestly, your skills weren't there either. You were new to the physical manifestation of your love, and yeah, mentally you were too unstable for this relationship to be normal to begin with. I want to be closer to you. Every single day. To be one with you. Like we were never separate. Can you come closer to me? He whispers desperately, his eyes glistening from the tears that roll down his cheeks and then fall onto your clothes. Yeah. Of course, yes. The trembling smile on his face turns into something else, deep and a little hot, burning your skin. Yeah? Really? It was hard for you to think that someone could love you. Well, Monica dealt with it by removing any threat to your exclusive intimacy. You fought your dark thoughts in your head. While Monica tried to drown out the whirlwind of pain in his head by leaving the color red on his skin, you were breaking down the walls of despair inside, silent and ashamed. Dramatic, isn't it? A beautiful love story. Different, yet having the same goals, to be together. Yes. And you? Can you get closer to me? Can you be with me? Always. Always, and longer than that. I'll be with you. Forever. His words stay a hot breath on your body as he presses against you as hard as he can. His hands here, there, everywhere, on your body, in your head, squeezing your soul in a sincere embrace. He is sheathed in your love, the way he is sheathed in your shared blood. I want to make you feel good. Your stomach turns and twists at the mere thought of intimacy. You press your lips together tentatively and awkwardly, almost biting them thoughtfully. Well, obviously I can't show you this part. It's in the Patreon. Do you think it tastes good? He looks at you, all flushed and sniffling slightly, and corrects the fogged-up glasses that have slid off his face. I don't know. Just don't taste it, please. Sure thing. With a nod, you pull wet wipes out of a half-empty pack and wipe your hands, tossing the used material into your bag somewhere, not caring at all that you'll have to wash everything later. Oh, no! We've been caught! Oh, no! What followed was routine. Upon returning home to Ruhan's house, he went straight to his room. His parents were at work, not straying from their normal schedule. You shouldn't have expected them before 5 p.m. It used to be stressful before, and it took a very, very long time to settle down. However, As time went on, coming home after another one of Amin's bad moods became even more pleasant, especially when your wounds didn't require medical intervention. We're all good, yeah? Ruhan asks you quietly as you climb the stairs. It creaks a little under your feet, creating a nice background noise instead of silence. Yeah, especially you, don't you? Ruhan blushes heavily and mutters something in response. Yeah. Shall we go to the bathroom? We're really dirty right now. Okay, hope you have got some good soap. Not that weird ancient brick. You'll be fine. Water is enough. A little wordy, but intimate in its own way. You didn't need too many words. By the way, why didn't Claire ever come to do the project with me, huh? Shut up! He's blushing even more. Got him. It must not be quite normal for your best friend / boyfriend to threaten other people when they claim to be getting closer to you. We'll talk about it later, okay? The bathroom is immediately warm when you get the water on, and the two of you get in the tub, though you have to rinse yourself off a couple of times with a quick shower. Because sitting in bloody water isn't very hygienic, even if neither of you mind contact with each other's bodily fluids. Can you wash my head? I'm really tired. Ruhan hides his face in his knees, tucked up to his chest, and looks at you like a kitten, all exhausted and innocent. No problem. Will you wash my back then? You don't wait for an answer and are already picking up the shampoo when suddenly he stops you with an awkward movement. He holds your wrist gently and then clears his throat, averting his gaze. Look, about what happened. Yeah? What is it? I want to make you feel good too. Help you relax while my parents aren't home. Oh, Ruhan. Sure, but first I'll wash your head because the blood's even dried up by now. He smiles widely and closes his eyes, setting his head to your caressing motions. Half an hour later, you finished. So, let's practice. I'll definitely dance with you at the prom. We can't dance! You blush, completely embarrassed by what's happening. Your dancing skills were a little lower than... Okay, they weren't there at all. We'll learn. Even if we don't, practice is fun. And anyway, I want to dance with you. In a stretchy t-shirt wet from undried water with tangled hair and no glasses, Monica was infinitely happy and infinitely thankful. Well, waltz, tango, tap? I'll take everything. After a session of dancing, tired but satisfied, you go to bed. Sleep will probably catch up with you very, very soon, but falling asleep without an evening's conversation will be quite out of character. Ruhan wraps you both in a blanket. It's soft and warm and sweet. He looks at you cheerfully, his eyes glinting in the last rays of the evening sun. So, about that conversation. Oh. He instantly falls silent, look at you like a beaten puppy. Are you angry at me? No. But why are you doing this? Well, any one of them could turn out to be a traitor and hurt us. He averts his eyes and apparently lies. That's not the right reason, of course, but it's clearly part of it. Is that why you carry a knife? No. Well, yes, but it's not the main reason. You never use it in fights with Amin. Are you afraid? Well, that's alright if you are. Well, I don't want to go to jail. He pouts a little, but then smiles again. If things get really bad, and they hurt you a lot, more than usual, I'll cut them all up. He smiles a little wider and blushes a little. And then I'll dump their bodies in the river for fish to eat, their corpses. He almost giggles, completely shy by his words, but he doesn't seem to be lying. For you. And you? Would you do the same for me? That and more. And then we'll dine on some buns. Yeah. He snuggles closer to you, and closes his eyes, perfectly happy. I love you. I love you too, Ruhan. The last day of your stay in this place. The last. The words spill euphoria throughout your body, and Ruhan clearly agrees with you. In the end, you decide to attend this horrible festival of cruelty together to see how it all ends. Ruhan embarrassingly adjusts the old costume his parents dug up somewhere in the attic a couple months ago. It's really nice, except for the dusty smell that hasn't gone away even after a couple of washings. Do you want to dance? With a nod, you accept his hand and start dancing. Of course, you both don't know how to dance. There hasn't been a time to learn. You weren't even sure if you'd even come here at all instead of going for a walk in the park, for example. Who cares if everyone around you giggles at your awkward dancing? The feeling of freedom is coming like a speeding train, louder and louder, almost here, rumbling its wheels. Freedom. Yeah, that's a nice word. I love you, you know? Of course you do. I love you too. It feels nice. It feels good. Feels good to be loved. Unbearably good. Some girl rushes away, scared, when she sees you and Monica. You think she wanted to do a school project with you a couple months ago. Claire, right? Oh, she got scared. You suppress a wry smile and put your arm around Monica's shoulders. Yeah, you're together, and he's unlikely to allow another, at least as long as you let him. After all, Ruhan Manika is in your hands. The festivities are coming to an end. Nothing terrible has happened, and it was already time to leave. You've had a good evening. Ignoring other people's stare has become so easy. No one bothered you, and you were able to let go of your anxiety for a moment. Of course, you didn't eat or drink anything. Nobody can understand the cruelty of teenagers. No one would want to be poisoned or drugged. The water you brought with you was plenty enough, and a couple of homemade sandwiches brightened up the evening nicely. You danced, listened to music, visited the restroom, and that was basically it. The most important thing was that you could finally leave this place. It was time to get the rest of your things out of the lockers. It was very, very dark in there. The locker zone is empty. It's deep in the evening, and there's no one here. Everyone is either home, dancing, or huddled together in dark corners. Dark. Very dark. And danger lies there. It never left. Look what I got. They met you a couple minutes ago, not partying or dancing at all, squinting and mawing like an embittered dog. Amin pokes his phone screen right in your face. Looky here! Okay, that is a terrifying image. He's in pain, of course. To live is to be in pain for him. Amin's voice is high-pitched and a little shaky. One last graduation surprise, a glorious gift he's been preparing for some time. The video is with you two. A beautiful moment of love, captured on a phone camera, now triggers a sense of danger and wild panic. Why can't he stop? Sothi shifts his gaze to his friend. The disapproval that had occasionally seeped to the surface and exposed the guy's real feelings was now even more visible. That's really quite a stretch. You gotta stop this, Amin. Ruhan Manika is quiet. Amin, however, clenches his hand into a fist, the last chance to experience any emotion. The filthy satisfaction is working on him like a bad drug. One last gift for the last disco. Everyone will see it. Do you think it'll be fun? Oh, freaking hell. Can't you just leave us alone? Ruhan? When danger threatens Ruhan, he tolerates and hoards all the negativity. But when his best friend, his beloved, is in danger, it's basically impossible to hold anything back. You guess that's what love is? Sure, your best friend and boyfriend is pretty weak compared to bullies, but one desperate punch to the jaw of a confused Amin rolls him to the floor with a loud clatter of chains and bracelets. You! What are you doing? Sothi, however, is silent. Typical situation, friendship with the class bully, maintained for his own safety, but his displeasure is seen too much. Sothi, You have failed. One more punch. It's uncomfortable to do with his hands, so Ruhan starts kicking with his feet. Amin is completely confused and doesn't have time to get up before he suddenly gets more and more kicks. It's important to keep Mercy. He deserves it. Oh! Mercy! Mercy! You hug Monica from the back and rest your head on his shoulders. He's still very tense, but your closeness makes him instantly pull back and turn away, squeezing you into a tight hug and flooding you with tears. I know it sounds corny, but are you saying we should be better than them? It's just, yeah. You do realize that I don't care right now, right? Yes, but you'll listen to me, right? Yeah. The two of you stand there for a while. It's unclear how many minutes or hours it's been. Amin is whimpering on the floor, but clearly remains conscious and at least alive. Sothi brings someone from the school administration. This time, they finally listen to you. The video has now been deleted from Amin's phone and cloud storage. It no longer exists. Amin is in jail. His other crimes are being uncovered, and it was a big found for the police. His father soon joins his son. Sothi leaves the town almost immediately after graduation. It's unknown where he went, but he can no longer be found on social media. And you? You be in charge of taxes. I don't understand anything at all. Manika groans in despair and stares at the ton of paperwork. Buying an apartment in a new city was quite difficult, both financially and in general. Who made it such a complicated process in the first place? Boo! Numbers! You poke at the papers in Ruhan's directions, and he jokingly scoffs, letting out a startled giggle. Don't scare me with adult responsibilities! The two of you blur into smiles. Manika soon finds himself in his favorite spot, next to you, and hugs you tightly, chuckling silly. Recovering will be difficult. Ruhan has kept communication with his parents to a minimum. You both start working slowly, gradually accumulating money and beginning your great way to the therapist. Gradually, you began to see positivity all around you. Therapy turned into something that gave you both hope. I have more diagnosis. No, I do. But I have more letters in my diagnosis and name. These were jokes, but actually allowed you to look at all of this not only with painful memories, but with humor. The future you didn't see turned out to be right here, and you walked into it together. Ending 2. Always with you. Okay, so what does the bad ending look like? He deserved it? Sothi's running off somewhere. That's good, right? Soon, a strong knife enters the fray. Amin flinches in panic and slams his back into the lockers like a hunted animal, his face covered in tears and drool, glistening in the moonlight and the dimmed lights of the distant bulbs in some room. An ominous sight. Hey, you! Stop! Stop it! I'm telling you! The bully... Hey! Hey! Stop it! Stop it! I'm warning you! The bully finally feels that he is no longer superior. The bully finds himself right under a soul, almost ready to be crushed. Ruhan wipes his tears with a rough sleeve of his suit and makes a dash for the final blow. Hit! 1. The quiet and unpleasant sound of dominance being torn apart. A loud scream deafens your ears. You stand next to Ruhan, not daring to move. What do you do? What do you do? You asshole! Stop it! You're hurting me! 2. The floor turns red, and the light from the far room gradually dims. Everything in front of your eyes is dark and ruby. It's scary, but it's real. 3. Ruhan is crying, screaming hysterically, but his hands are acting on their own. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up! Amin whines, completely weak, tears in his eyes. I deserve to live too. Ruhan freezes in place, but after a second, his eyes are bloodshot, and he screams. And what about us? Us! Don't we deserve to live? despair, and sorrow break the evening silence, and soon end this terrible, bloody act. Thank you. Ruhan nods weakly. He leans towards you and kisses you, softly and sadly. I don't think I can drag him into the river. What do you mean? Remember what I told you the other day? Yeah, I remember. He can rot here. I don't care. You pat his head gently, and he leans against your shoulder. You both sit there, alone, in deep silence. Nobody cares what happens after. No matter what, you'll wait for him. He defended you. You still love me, right? Yes. Of course I love you. What about you? He smiles slightly, laughs just a little. Your habit of always doubting everything, just like him. I love you. Ending 1. Wait for you. Anyway, that was Ruhan Manika. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys do want to play this for yourselves, link to the game will be in the description below. Gotta say, this was a very grim story, but I did love the art for it. And I also do like how it's basically saying that we always gotta choose to be better than the people that hurt us, okay? We can always choose to be better than these people and just live our lives, and in the end, we'll always find ourselves in a better place than we were back when things were just absolutely crap, I gotta say. And seeing a good ending, although it was rushed, I like what they were going for. I really did like what they were going for. And yeah, hope to see more from this developer sometime in the future. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all have a lovely rest of the day. And as always, I'll be seeing you in the next video. This is Lion, signing off. Ciao.